Hey, it's your boy DJ Wolf here. Got a couple of things on my mind right quick. You know, I was watching last night and this morning. I watched two videos of black women in New York, New Jersey area fighting at Chuckie Cheeses, and I was really appalled by that. You know, we fight over the dumbest shit. All the stuff that's going on in the world, you know, sickness, illnesses, you know, kids being kidnapped, you know, crime running rampant in our neighborhoods, man, gang violence, all this kind of stuff, and y'all fight over the dumbest shit. You know, Chuckie Cheeses, really. And of all places you're fighting at Chuckie Cheeses, where it's nothing but kids at. I am so glad that I stopped having to go to Chuckie Cheeses for years, because you know, I don't want to go into details about it, but I'll be honest with you. I went to Chuckie Cheeses at least once or twice when I was younger, when I was in my late teens, early 20s. Wasn't a big fan of it then. Then, of course, eventually I started going. My son was a little bored and all of that. But you always notice that something about Chuckie Cheese just never really set well with me. And I ain't talking about in terms of Chuckie Cheese itself. I'm talking about some of the patrons who are there. And they always come off very, you know, I don't know. It's like, you know, not confrontational, but you get, I don't know. It's just an odd place, man. And we fight over the dumbest stuff, man. And after I saw two videos, I said, you know, that's a damn shame. The one thing that them goofy-ass motherfuckers didn't think about was the children that were there. The children had to sit there and suffer and watch people fighting like that. And the mentality goes into them thinking that that's how you resolve issues. That's how you resolve conflicts, by being violent. You know? What kind of examples of parents are you claiming to be when you do shit like that? You know, that's not good. And you wonder why Pookie and Ray Ray and everybody's getting locked up, because they get them behaviors off the daggone mamas who claim to be mamas and daddies. You know, or want to be a mama and a daddy. In many cases, because a lot of cases y'all choose that. Just like y'all say slavery wasn't a choice. You're saying being a single parent mother wasn't a choice. Yes, the fuck it was. Especially when you have more than one. You know. Especially when you have more than one child. That's a fact. You can deny it all you want. All day long. But the reality is, you don't have a problem with that. And you should have a problem with it. You know, I always had a problem with a woman being a single mother to several kids, man. And that's always been a problem. It ain't just become a problem, it's always been a problem. You know, making bad choices constantly with the same type of people constantly. You know, but you want people to understand it, though, right? Please, you know. Why? I tell you, sometimes I just don't know. I just don't know. You know, people constantly making bad choices, but everybody else is supposed to be like, oh, it's, you know, no big deal. And it's becoming too much of the norm. That's the scarier part. You know, too many of our communities are laden with single motherhood where it's acceptable. You know, in 2018, to me, that's another concept of slavery mentality, where the women, you know, when you have a group of women who do nothing but breed kids and don't work, or work part-time on some old cheap-ass chicken joint job trying to raise 10 kids. You know, that's a slavery mentality in itself. And that's why I said in the podcast last week that Kanye West actually, he to me, on some level, was right about what he said. You know, I think it's more so of a choice not to be bonded within your own community. I mean, to be a slave in your own community, because basically that's what you're doing now. When you have multiple kids and you can barely keep yourself filled, let alone your kids, that's a slavery mentality. That's what went on during slavery. I wish some of y'all would wake up and realize that. Slavery was bondage where you couldn't even barely survive yourself because you're too busy working for massa, for peanuts. You know, it's the same mentality today. It's no different. You're enslaved by the mind. Your mind's being enslaved, saying, you know, you can't do any better. You're supposed to go have all these kids because somebody telling you that's what you're supposed to do. You know, or somebody else did it, and then you're supposed to do this. You're just copying off of them. You know, it's a generational thing where at some point that cycle got to break, and it's not breaking. It's not breaking fast enough. If anything, you're copying what other people has done over the years. The same shit. You know, you mess around with dusty, no good dudes who ain't trying to do nothing. And then in terms of that, they ain't gonna help you and you know they're not. Or you getting laid by the pipe of a pipe dream, thinking that, yeah, he gonna do this thing, and you really just going by the word of what he gonna do, and you ain't trying to do nothing for yourself. You know, meanwhile he ain't trying to do nothing because the guy you was messing with is all about you enjoying, you know, being entertained by the guy, nothing else. You know, no substance about it. A lot of y'all girls go for that. Y'all go for them kind of dudes. I know I told y'all many years ago, I tried to date this girl one time, and that's all she was into. She was into them type of guys. You know, last I heard, she had like 3 or 4 kids. You know, and they ain't all about the same guy, but that's another story. But that's the problem. And like somebody was saying on the YouTube video yesterday, that's part of the problem in itself because, you know, black women, the mentality that's put in black women that the only type of guys you need to be messing with is thugs and bangers, and that's it. You know, roughnecks. That's it. Not no guys with no real substance. And you got guys out there that are just, you know, that are hard or whatever, I guess. You know, I guess. I can't say for a fact because I don't know. I ain't trying to judge no guys. But I'm just saying. You got black men that are just as strong as these guys in the mind as well as everything else. But y'all don't choose to date those guys because those guys ain't about the street to you. Y'all like that kind of stuff, though. But yet, you'll get pregnant by him, and then you want some old good guy to take care of your ass. I've been in a situation like that before with a girl many years ago. This girl was 19 years old, had 3 kids. I told this story before, I think. 3 kids. Now, this girl wouldn't speak to me for years. I tried to holler at her long before all that, before she even had her first child, well before she even got pregnant. And that girl would not speak to me, wouldn't look at me. She was just look, she was a little bit standoffish, so she was. So, okay. So years later, I'm coming up on the bus line right down the street from my house. Shirt and tie, kind of, you know, like, you know, had all the state saddles. I was clean, man. Jerry curl, hair was on fleek, man. But anyway, I was looking dapper like a mug. Had a little briefcase on me, and I get on the bus for her. All of a sudden, this girl want me to take her out. Now, you got 3 kids on the bus, but you talking about taking you out. Really? All this time, the girl didn't want to give me time of day for many years. Then she gets stuck with 3 kids by some old dusty dude. And now you want to holler at me. I just shook my head. I said, man, please. I'm actually glad that didn't go through, because I didn't want to be day number 3 or whatever. I just didn't. I'm glad they didn't go for that trap. I'm very glad. I'm glad it didn't work out. That girl was full of shit. She was full of it. Now you want to holler at somebody? But that's what I'm talking about. People fill your head up with mind about smoke. And that's the other thing. Why is it okay for our women to go out there and get pregnant early and have by these guys and stuff, and not get their act together? You're always telling young men to get their heads right, and they should, to the brain right, and getting the books. But you should be telling young ladies to do the same thing. Get their head right, get in them books, get your education, and then go from there. But it's always the other way around. They go out and party. They go out there, have sex, whatever, get pregnant, have kids, then they want to go back to school. I see it happen all the time. All the time. I just shake my head. Say, But what I'm saying is, we need to stop with that 24-hour, 24/7 party attitude and get our heads right and build. Because right now y'all talking about slavery wasn't a choice, but yet your mindset in 2018 saying otherwise. In 2018, your mind being enslaved is a choice too. Okay, it is a choice in 2018, but you still reverting your mind to a slavery type of mentality, where you have to follow all trends and not think for yourself. Your thought process is based on what somebody else is telling you instead of what you need to do for yourself. And I heard YouTube one time about something, do for self. The question, do for self. Yeah, do for self. I was like, really? That's all I gotta say, man. I got more about this and other stuff on the back burner. It's DJ Wolf. I'm out.